Alright, so this is day 22 of going through my guided journal entries. So the quote for today is, "At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet." And then the writing prompt is, "How does love inspire you? What do you become?" And if you're following along in the journal, go ahead and take a minute to pause and write your response to this question, and I'll be back in a second to tell you what my response was. All right, so let's read what I wrote for this a few months ago. I honestly have no idea because love is kind of a weird one for me, so let's see what I said. So, how does love inspire you and what do you become? I said, "I'm not sure that love inspires or changes me. To be honest, I'm not sure I even know what love is. I mean, I felt good feelings being around certain people before, but I'm not sure that it was really love. Even at a fairly young age, I remember questioning my familial love. Like, I would see families on TV and movies that were so close, and now I see some." Okay, so it says, so I'm talking about when I was younger, I would see families on TV and movies that were so close, and now I'm seeing real, I put in quotes, families like that on social media. I know a lot on social media is fake, but I think it's pretty easy to tell when parents and children are close and have more of that loving bond. I feel like that's always been a bit distant for me. My grandmother would always make a point to tell me she loved me, but I'm not sure if it was really sincere. I think my grandfather's love was sincere, but I don't know. I think after being raised by my parents, I didn't know how to fully appreciate or reciprocate it. I don't feel a close bond. I don't really feel an extremely close bond to any of my living family, and I find it hard to say I love you to anyone, but it comes out easily when talking about animals or some material things. So I'm not sure what that means." So, okay, yeah, that's definitely something I noticed. Like, I find it very hard to say I love you to anyone, even if it's like family or someone that I'm in a relationship with. I find it, pretty hard to say I love you. But at the same time, while I struggle to say it to people, I will say it to my cats, or I will say, "I love this blank," if talking about things I own or like places to go. "Oh, I love this city," or whatever. So it comes out very easily when talking about like inanimate objects or just non-human things, but I have a hard time saying it to humans, and I'm not really sure what that block is. And yeah, talking about my grandparents, I do feel like my grandfather like loved me. And like I said, with my grandmother, it was kind of like, it was weird. Like, she was always really quick to say it. It's like one of those things that was almost like a habitual thing. You would have to say like, "I love you." And but I didn't feel like the feeling behind it when she would say it, I guess. So I don't know. But at the same time, I also felt really welcome all the time by my grandmother. And so, like, even after my grandfather passed, I always felt like welcome by her. But I'm not sure if it was like a welcome in the sense that like she really enjoyed having me around, or just she enjoyed having anyone around, because she was very social and she liked to talk and gossip, and so I think she just liked having anyone around, but it was still nice to know that I would be welcome somewhere. I felt like I had a home, or like a place I could go where I'd always be welcome. I didn't have to call, I could just show up and go there. And I don't know, with my father, yeah, definitely no. And with my mother, it was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't get I don't feel like there was as much of an emotional bond with her. Like, it felt more strong when I was younger, but like as I've gotten older, like that bond has gotten less and less. And she kind of backed away from saying she loved us to me and my sister a little bit, and I think we did too, and I think it was just kind of a weird tension. And so I don't know, now we don't even speak anymore. And so, but it wasn't like a huge like blow up thing that caused it. It's just, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I just kind of get the sense that my mother wasn't necessarily like made to have children or didn't necessarily want children, but she did it just because at that time it was what you were supposed to do. And so I understand her, because that's how I feel. Like, if I lived when she had grown up, I probably would have kids right now, just because it's what you're expected to do. And I'm thankful now that like there's more opportunity, and it's more starting to become more accepted for people to not want to have children. But I mean, she took care of us and everything, but I don't feel like that bond was really always there. I don't know. But anyway, and yeah, I've had a hard time like with relationships. There's been a few specific times that I really felt like I love this person, but it's been really like short-lived and kind of fleeting. And so yeah, I don't know. And in terms of seeing like families on social media, I don't really get bothered by that. Like, I don't really, it doesn't make me really envious or anything, because I know now that like a lot of families, they show this facade out front. And I think TikTok, like since I've written this, I've gotten more on TikTok, and I feel like people seem to be a lot more honest about things on TikTok, and are talking about like the reality of things. Like with Instagram and Facebook, it seems more like people are putting on a facade of what they want people to see that's maybe not really their lives. And then it's just weird because on TikTok, you know, on Instagram, everybody's wearing makeup and their pictures are so like planned and everything. But then on TikTok, people will just be like rolling out of bed and making videos and being just like brutally honest, it seems like. And you know, that's kind of, I had my suspicions that some of these families that seem to be, you know, perfect families weren't, but now hearing some of these people talk, you know, that really drills that in, that like, you know, don't feel like your family and your love is different from other people, because everybody seems to experience it differently and have different experiences. And I've understood for a long time that like my familial love was different than other families, and I just took that as like, well, we're different. You know, we don't have that same bond as some of the families do. But I don't know. That's just how I feel. And you know, love is such a subjective, vague thing. You know, is it an actual thing, or is it just hormones, or like what spurs those hormones to make you have that feeling? Like, is it supposed to be consistent, or does it just come and go? Like, I don't know. I haven't really like looked into the science behind it, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. It's not something that's really common for me, I guess. Like, I don't hate people, or I don't hate a lot of things. It's just, I'm just kind of neutral, I guess. And I would say I like a lot of people. So I would say it's more on the positive side of neutral, but not necessarily to the point that I would say that I love people. Most people. But I like them. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I had. So I will come back tomorrow with day 23.